So, a good evening, everyone, and welcome. We are a little on the late side, just a little, but things happened and stuff. Quick recap to vaguely remind us all of where we are. Currently in Ulstenburg. The party has sort of holed up at one of the near local uh, inns. A bit of binge drinking has taken place on the part of a certain someone, not naming names, but you know, a certain Alberash.
Wow. Aldrix.
Try not to be, boy.
Um, really, but really all the like major went down.
If I remember, two people failed D100s.
There was a bit of dream exploration, yes, as you were all locked into the visions that had been plaguing you now for quite some time. But otherwise, you guys have had your breakfast. Um, that's all I can remember without cheating and looking back at notes.
We just came here to pick up like basic supplies and then head out. I think that was the plan.
Believe so.
That sounds about right.
General store, get our stuff, go.
I will note that a certain Antirius is nowhere to be found at the moment.
Oh wait, I haven't. I didn't remember how to do. It's not union twice.
It could be.
Could be, but I've committed to the German.
Have you though?
I mean, it changes every time I do it, so I'm gonna say yes.
Okay.
I suppose look around the room. Any signs of him just leaving?
I was say no signs of struggle or anything of that effect. The window is open, but in the attempts to close it, were dealt with drunken vein.
Perhaps that is how he absconded.
Maybe.
Well, one less mouth to feed, I suppose.
For the record, we are post breakfast already.
Well, Aldrix, was there supplies you wanted to purchase?
I'm okay with that. Peeing it out, just going to the nearest general store.
Yeah, get your rations, whatnot.
Yeah. That way we might get a little progress made tonight.
Sounds good with me.
I see Artie is attempting to doodles on the map. Do we not have? No, we have a thing for this. Do.
We are giant. Ah.
You are here.
I was trying to cut my symbol off the side of the board and it wouldn't let me.
Yeah, that's what we refer to as GM privileges. But yes, So the other reminders, as you guys are getting your general good stuff, the tug is still northward.
Yep.
The sisters are relatively well composed, a bit on the quiet side. It's not unusual for Lilith. Sarah just kind of humming along as she waits with the cart.
Well, shall we be off?
Yeah, I'm good to go.
Is the tired Ari going to attempt to be the one driving, or is
No,
it going to
no,
be
I'm the
Aberdish
normal
again?
driver.
All right.
Don't let me drive.
He immediately
Do
crashes.
you want to drive?
I don't care.
Okay. I think I drove because I have the best animal handling.
Sarah chimes up. I'll do it. I'll do it.
No.
You are too small, little one. The horse could bolt. It is a mighty steed.
He just stares with like the childish indignation.
I can see the axe coming out as she stares at Approach.
That's Lilith, not Sarah.
Oh,
Sarah doesn't axe.
Sarah-
she's
Sarah
cute.
has-
She's a sweetheart.
Yeah, she's small.
She's the one that keeps scaring everybody.
Yeah.
But means of travel. Do you intend on maintaining the road, or heading straight, like literally due north?
Let me take
the road as long as we can.
Okay.
Before, like, it's like a straight off.
I
Let's
mean, it
get off.
looks like there's a road literally leading due north that'll take us by Landhouse.
I don't know if you know the meaning of due north.
Well, due-ish north.
Sir, that's like 30 degrees off.
Yeah.
The whole
We're
off by
in
an
a
inch, off
wheeled
by a
cart.
mile.
We're in a wheeled cart. Why are we huffing it across prairies? I guess that's what you do in wheeled carts. Why are we huffing it across foothills? These are clearly foothills. I vote that we follow the road.
Okay. What kind of pace? Dot.
Normal? A steady daily travel pace? How urgent is the tug?
It's never raised or lower in any degree of urgency. It's only change in direction.
How's the weather?
How's the weather? There is a heavy overcast, which is not unusual for the area during this time of year. It could either rain in the next hour or not rain until tomorrow morning.
Well, mayhaps we head out on with good pace and just be aware of potential rain.
Yeah, we won't have much cover unless we get lucky by some close trees.
Well, unless we intend to take the river to the west. Wait, I think we are out of luck, as they say, for tree cover.
Yeah, we're going. Following the river, the winding river with the cart through the forest is going to take us longer.
That is my thought as well.
Follow the road as long as possible. And then turn off
Follow the road at all costs.
as long as possible.
All right. So you make it out about 10th hour after buying all of your supplies, heading to the various shops to get everything that you feel like you might need for the next leg of your journey. And aside from the gnawing pull at your stomach, for the most part, nothing bothers you for the majority of the day. Sarah hums a happy little song. Lilith holds her axe, trying, teenage menace. Come the early afternoon, do you intend to stop for meal or eat on the move?
Let's eat on the move.
Okay.
Yeah. The sooner we are north, the better, I think.
There is a fair amount of traffic at this point, most of which coming towards Olstenburg and passing you by. Many of the riders or drivers or passerbys that be not really giving your crew much in way of attention. Passing glances, sort of taking note of the way you're dressed and the general mannerisms of the party. For the most part, seem to decide that you are a bunch of armed individuals who look like you are ready to fight God for some reason.
Yes.
So I mean, they don't avoid looking at you, but they make it clear like they don't really want anything to do with you.
Fair.
Try to give a friendly nod.
Abrash will see already do this and glower. Anyone that gets a wave also gets a glower.
Lilith's not sure which one to side with. Like, on one hand, people. On the other hand, pissing Abrash off. Sarah waves at everyone.
Abrash will like open his mouth to gently chide her, but then just sigh and think better of it.
Going into the later evenings, the humidity starts to pick up. There is an electric taste to the air. You can hear the rolls and peals of thunder in the distance, closer towards the forest. Well
Perhaps,
ahead with the. Say again?
I was gonna say, perhaps we want to find some shelter. We don't want to sleep in the rain tonight.
Start looking around for shelter as we drive.
It is open hill and plain.
Well, we
That's
tried.
That's what a tent's for.
True.
Easily mile and a half, 2 miles. You'd wager. You see a sheet of dark, presumably heavy rainfall already crashing, heading towards the Gray Spine.
Well, perhaps we should stop for the evening and set up our tents where we are still somewhat dry.
Yeah, it'd be good to get set up before the rain reaches us.
All right, kids, out of the cart.
And do they need to be out of the cart?
That is where the tents are.
I'll have to leave the cart.
I'm gonna say, you gonna wait till the car gets stopped first?
I will stop the cart.
All right. So some tents are set up. Describe as you may the general layout, how you would like to do things.
Of like,
of setting up the camp.
well, presumably the girls are sharing a tent. And I would assume that is we're positioning them toward like the middle, like a circle the wagons type situation.
Mm-hmm.
Abarash being the more martially inclined of the group will position his tent more toward the outskirts of camp. So if thing and to the north, because you said there was a lot of traffic coming down the road. So if
Right.
something comes like into camp that way, they're more likely to run into him first.
Yeah, since it's mostly, there's not really anything out here. Have a detach a horse, let it graze for a bit, but we could just tie it like from the bit to the wagon, so it's not like hooked up to the wagon, but tied to it. Just that's the only structure we've got out here.
Okay.
I guess I was assuming people had tents. If not, we could jury rig something like some canvas off the attach to the side of the wagon and stick it out.
Say you have more than enough canvas previously provided that would be able to accommodate enough tents for everyone.
Okay. Because if need be, I can rig stuff up off of the tent or off the wagon. We could go both sides if we had to.
Okay. Just go ahead and give me a survival check. This is more going to be how long it takes.
Could I assist?
Absolutely.
Who's rolling survival?
That would be
I will.
Artie, I'd imagine.
Yep.
With advantage, because I'm helping.
There you go.
There you go. It is with marked precision that the camp gets set up. Do you set a fire or anything like that?
There's point like if rain is coming, it's kind of pointless probably to start anything up.
Yeah.
You've got
I'd rather have
maybe 10 minutes for the rains on you, so.
yeah, I'd rather get like roofs up so
Okay.
that we can stay dry. Focus on that first.
Duly noted. And the rain does indeed come, and it comes in heavy sheets, crashing thunder, and the lightning not too far away, splitting the earth within eyesight of your camp. Just off the road where you've bedded down, you can see there are a handful of travelers, a group of them. You wager 9 or 10. It's with the shifting of bodies, hard to get a firm count without actively attempting to do so. That are attempting at this point to outrun the rain in a very comical sense. And
Abrash will snicker.
they are carrying, in the midst of them, a stretcher with someone on it.
At this distance, are we able to tell any more about them? Do we see armor? Do we see weapons? Do we see if it like
With
burly men?
with the rain falling as it is, they are in heavy like oiled cloaks, things of that nature, to try and slick as much of the water off as they can, and without active attempt to perceive what's going on. I see you, Aldrix. I see you catching on.
I was like, Trying to get a better look at him.
What do your gnomish eyes see?
I'm not a gnome.
You're not a gnome?
Oh,
No,
What are you?
I'm a Ladeshi.
wow.
None of us
It's
are
not
gnomes.
Thursday.
Hey, you a Nomari?
Nope.
No. I'll leave.
I said,
Bless this mess.
similar. He is short.
Aldrich, the best as you can tell that this is some kind of fighting unit. They're not bearing any marks or insignia of who specifically they are for. You can tell that on the stretcher, whatever banner is there is apparently being used as part of the stretcher. They are armed. Mostly, what you get is a pair of spears. One
Okay.
person in the midst of carrying a brandishly open axe that is sort of taking up the vanguard of the motion. The others are occupied with carrying the stretcher.
Should we go out, offer to help?
You see a group of armed men and you want to go.
Help that injured one? Yes.
You are putting all of our lives at risk.
That's why I'm asking first before I do it.
I know. This is not our problem. If we stay quiet, the rain may conceal our presence and they will pass us by. They are not too far from Ostenburg.
I just don't know how we realistically do help them. We can't get them moving faster unless, like, we give them our wagon and our horse.
Could make sure that that injured man has clean bandages, all that fun stuff.
I mean, yeah, I guess if you could field help them. I mean, I'll walk over there with you if you want to try it. But
Yeah.
I remind you both that what I am not exactly popular.
This is why we do not tell them what you are, and you don't lie.
it's not what you are that's why you're not popular.
That was very hurtful, Ari.
It's fine.
Puts a hand over his heart. Very hurtful.
There's no.
You gotta try to be nice.
You're teaching bad.
The girls, for the record, are not part of the conversation. They are in their tent, hiding from the rain.
Yes, you are giving them bad moral character.
No, I'm
Yes.
saying what a person is does not define who they are.
Be the change you want to
Character
see in the
defines
world, Abra.
Yep. Okay, Aldrich, yeah, let's go. See if we can catch up to him. And I can help you however I can.
Yeah.
Abrash is just gonna matter. That is dangerous advice. But stay in his tent. Just watch.
Okay. It does not take much effort to catch up to them. They are not making great headway. The stretcher, as best it can be referred to, is makeshift in all fashions. Withered bits of wood being used as the poles, scrap cloth, the wrappings and bindings. There is a woman laid upon it. She is moving best as you can. Is alive, but a sheet cast over her does show a heavy stain of dried red. Well, previously dried red blood. They do not hear you over the heavy rainfall.
I think you're probably better with the talking, Ari.
Maybe. I will call loudly to them.
Saying,
Hey, Claire! We can offer assistance. Hello?
one of the spearmen you hear what sounds like a staccatoed whistle, and the formation comes to an uneasy halt as he and the other turn, lowering the spears, at like bracing themselves.
I
You're pretty sure they didn't hear what you said. They just heard a voice.
Approach slowly, not being aggressive in any way.
Once they feel you're within earshot, they second scout unit of first battalion. Who goes?
Just some travelers that thought we might be able to offer a bit of assistance. My friend here thinks he could potentially inspect your wounded, might be able to help them. From a glance, I might be able to help you with your. I'm forgetting the name of the thing they're using to carry. Yes.
Stretcher. Okay.
There's some other name for it. I'm not blanking out on. Yes.
The gurney.
I know if the weather's not great, maybe you guys could use a 5-minute break. We could try to help you out. You guys could be back on your way. It's not great traveling in the rain. We can't help more than that, though.
They kind of look amongst each other. Go ahead and roll persuasion.
With guidance?
Did you get guidance cast on you?
And give guidance instead of helping.
Take the advantage.
Oh, yeah, advantage. I mean, either way. I didn't think to say that ahead of time. Persuasion. 10.
Oh, you're actually worth it talking than I am. Just to see what would have happened if I had rolled it.
They kind of glance between the two of you and then back amongst each other, seeming to like look past you and see your camp set up. Kind of nod to each other, and begin to approach.
Scheiße. Abrash is just swearing under his breath. And he's gonna come out of his tent and just call, "Girls, stay inside. Do not come out until we tell you to."
The girls that would have
know
nothing about.
Yeah, my perception of this is that we are more meeting them than them coming to our camp.
Yeah.
I would walk to.
Yeah, they're moving towards you. Like they see the camp, they are moving towards the two of you. They're not trying to force themselves past you.
Yeah.
One of them doing their best to sort of hold some rain blockage over the wounded. It gets a little uncomfortable when the armored cleric pulls up next to him.
Like, I am a bit of a healer.
These guys are exhausted. They mud caked up well past their knees. Many of them have wounds beyond the superficial, but none like the woman on the stretcher. When you lift back, it is immediately a smell of infection, which normally would be hard if not for how well the smell has been kept lingering due to now soaked rags against the wound. It is just below her ribs, on her right side.
Do I see like any insignia on them showing like what country they're from, or?
There is, as noted, one of the rags used to put the stretcher together is their banner, and they introduce themselves as a scouting unit of the 1st Battalion. They didn't say from what empire, though. If you'd like to roll a history check. It's unfortunately there with Ari. You are fairly sure that these individuals are from the Ostian Empire. from across on the other side of the gray spine.
Do we know their feelings on magic?
They're not
Because that
quite as
will
superstitious as people here in the Burok region, but they have the same superstitions that a majority of the societies tend to have and kind of shy away from it.
I will take a look at this wound. I will say to kind of the leader.
None of them seem to be in charge. They are all grasping at straws at this point.
Okay. I will say to them as a whole. I will not lie. This is very rough.
Well, it just so happens she's our medic.
Of course. Well, here is what I can do. I am able to wield a little bit of divine energies that I might be able to use to heal her. Would you be okay with this?
Kind of look amongst the others. You can save her.
I should be able to save her.
She's probably saved each of us countless times. I don't know how far we are from God, what was the nearest Landhaus?
You're a decent way away from Glen House, but if you keep going down this road, you will eventually find Ulstenburg.
The two younger and that stayed out of it. He's like, I told you we were going the wrong way.
But do I have your permission to cast magic upon your medic to heal her?
A middle-aged human who is at this point like gripping her hand tightly, just looking at you like, just, please, anything to save her, please.
First things first, lesser restoration on the infection.
Okay, it does get rid of the disease that was lurking.
And then a first level cure wounds.
Okay, so Artie, you watch as the heavy breathing, the feverish redness, very quickly fades. And with a hand on your holy symbol, which is on your shield. And
I just place my hand on her and pray.
The wound knits and closes as best it can. It was very severe. She does not immediately regain consciousness, but her breathing shifts from this shallow, ragged brink of death to sleep. There's a tension relieved from her. And you're not sure if the man holding her hand is just getting hit by the rain or happens to be crying.
How many are there?
You've counted confirmed a total of 10.
Okay. I was going to offer to heal some of their wounds, but I don't have that many spell slots.
For the most part, like they need some rest.
Gotcha.
None of their wounds look like they are dire at a glance. That said, a proper medical investigation would not be unwarranted, because, nothing like a nick on a battlefield.
Yeah, I will go through with medicine check.
Okay.
If you let me, I'll take 10.
Do you hear out in the pouring rain, or offer to bring them under cover? What was that?
Ari, his thoughts on bringing them to camp.
What do we know of the relations between the two countries? Because it sounds like these are foreign soldiers.
They're foreign scouts specifically. At the moment, they don't have any official conflict.
Have we heard of any skirmishes, conflicts?
Not that comes to recent mind. but you also have not been exactly kept abreast of major politics of late.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, I mean, if I'm kind of getting the look of like, should we take them back to with a like nod to our camp? I'd shake my head no. Like I would, we don't know who they are. We got the and
that's
our
fair.
aim to protect the kids, and these are soldiers to some extent. Plus, then we'd have to introduce them to Abresh, and that's just a pain.
Yeah,
And Adamant. He
Both
exists
of those
too.
points are very good.
That's him talking around people just gets too many questions.
Yeah, we'll just check them out up here, try to get them set up as best we can.
I mean, if they've got like an extra cloak or canvas or something like that with their spears, we could rig it up where there's a roof in a small area. If they want, I could set that up. Otherwise, I would look to try and make their gurney, their stretcher, a little bit more stable and easy to carry. I got a couple tools on me, but I'd have more if I went back to camp if I really needed to kind of fashion something.
Sort of sensing the overall, like you want to help, but there's that sort of distancing yourselves. The older man, the one, again, not so much in charge, but seems the most reasonable amongst them. You have helped beyond what words can say. If ever I am able to repay you, do not hesitate. And he hands you a iron coin with nothing on either face.
History to see what like the significance of this is.
Go ahead.
Never mind.
It is an iron coin with nothing on its face. This rings to like a numerous amount of traditions.
Okay.
But most of them involve invoking favors.
Is it? I don't know if it really
For
makes
you?
sense to me of a specific something this country does. Yeah, I'm confused.
For this country specifically, no. It is
That's
more
their
of
country.
Yeah, I know. It's more of a niche group within the Meyer folk. Iron being a very precious thing, as it is what both generates fasteners, nails, and the like, horseshoes, things that production, as well as a means to both defend and claim territory. In the sense of weapons and the like, and armor. And getting a look at it, while it is faceless, there are details cut along the edges that look as if they would roll out onto a map in some fashion.
Like there's some sort of like a message or a pattern along the outside edge. Okay. Well, thank you. What is your name? How do we reach you?
I am Briggsons of the Mire. If you need me, just pass along to any Mire folk you may run into, and they'll reach me, and I will come.
Okay. Yeah, glad we could help. We're a little bit stuck out in the rain as well, but you guys trudging along.
Also, if you don't mind us asking, what happened?
We had come over the spine in a sort of exchange, keeping maps up to date, assisting he kind of looks at you like with a squint, like you guys don't look like you're like hard-coded Burdock citizens. You don't fit the overall aesthetic that they're used to dealing with, as much as like say Arborist does, though he's a little on the paler side due to reasons. Reasons. But we were supposed to head from Grafendam to Landhaus, but something had chased us out through the mountains. We've got ourselves all turned around.
Question: Is our pull pulling us just straight north, or closer to Landhouse or Grafendam?
It actually pulls you at this point more north, northwest.
Okay, so it wants us to go into the forest, pretty much.
It's kinda, yeah.
Okay.
You don't know if it's beyond the forest or whatnot. And for the most part, without any degree of having purchased the map, which you have yet to do, you guys probably don't know too much more of like Nordenland, Grejord, things of that nature. So you're not really sure. You know, Landhaus is next because it would have been spoken of in the taverns and the inns and the shops. Grafendam is a major connection point between the two empires, so these are familiar terms. But I will also I would say that the wound itself does look like something took a fairly sizable bite out of her. And
Can I try to narrow that down a little bit more? Just kind of
absolutely
look at what skill would that
that'd
be?
be a medicine check.
Okay. There we go. There's the good rolls.
Something beat. It's not like say a lupine bite, for example, or canine in any fashion.
Okay.
Possibly a rock, the first mountainous creature that comes to mind. That might be territorial. That it's either something that was beaked or something that was capable of gouging. It's not a puncture wound as much as a ripping wound.
Gotcha. I'll make sure like her ties are bound and cleaned and all that stuff before I. And then do a quick check over everybody.
Yeah, and for the most part, most of theirs are heavy slashes. They're
claws.
There's not like a close grouping of like claw marks or even talon marks. But they're not also there's some that are too close to be like sword cuts. It was I mean, it was our mistake for trying to descend from our camp before the full light, but we were very much hoping to get out of the mountains before the rain crashed into us. And, well, as soon as the rain landed, whatever it was, it struck.
You didn't even see it?
It was still quite into the heavy early morn. The sun had not yet hit. We were operating on poor torchlight at the best.
Well, you definitely made it out of the mountains. Just a long ways south.
South.
You made it. Yes.
Yeah, for the two youngins are still in the back going, yeah, I told you we were going the wrong way.
If you were updating maps, do you have maps? I mean, I believe we are south. I have a decent idea as to where we're at, but we don't have a map.
he will pull out a sort of a waxed oil map. It is indeed a little outdated, but that's more population than anything, which you really wouldn't be able to help with. The physicality is more or less the same. Just a
I can
survival
point out
check to try
anyway.
and pinpoint exactly as best you can.
Okay.
You'll get the general area, but it's a matter of like, yeah, we traveled for this long, so we should be bleh.
Here.
Yeah, they at least know like this is the road you're on. I guess it's the direction to go.
Yep.
Use it as an opportunity, I guess. Yeah, if we're not that familiar, if they've got some of the northern parts recorded or northwest parts, just to see what they've got written down. If there's some places we're unfamiliar with.
This map does include the Northernland. Though unlabeled, you can tell roughly. You see the crossroads of Olstenburg as sort of the southernmost for the map he's showing.
I'm guessing it's like this and this.
It would show sort of. That.
Yeah, that was about what I was.
Okay.
Well, I wish you luck on your journey. After I've made sure everybody's not going to die.
Mm-hmm. Again, we greatly appreciate it. If I wish we had more we can give you at the time.
Have given us plenty.
Try to keep those spears low if we've got lightning about.
He looks confused.
The man in metal blinks.
And is struck by lightning.
Damn it.
So yeah, you are in Overfield. Technically, you are the lightning rod.
Lightning goes for the tall things. So it always hits the trees.
But yeah. Take care of her. She should be okay with rest.
They gather up their things. Hell, grateful just to stop and catch their breath more than anything. And turn northward and go in the right direction.
I'm surprised they didn't just head to Olstenburg. Get to a town.
No,
And
they are still on mission.
True.
Abrash watching them, you do see them clearly salute in a foreign fashion.
Who are they saluting?
The two of you as they leave.
Oh. Okay.
As they leave, Abrash gonna walk over, venture out into the rain to where Ari and Aldrich are, and say, "I suppose you two are a pair of heroes, a regular pair of do-gooders."
Yep. Just gonna brush my hands off. Not time for
Shake some of the water off my hair on the brush. Yep. As I head back to camp. Well,
Abrash will just watch the soldiers leave for a second before following. "They're going to get us killed someday," just mutters to himself.
Lightning strikes, but 50 feet away.
Yeah, scheiße!
towards the camp. The camp is now gone. Abrash is still okay though.
It's the new version of Rocks Fall. Everyone dies.
Just lightning bolt.
The rain shows no sign of stopping. In fact, it only shows signs of worsening as it works its way from the northwest to the southeast over you. The afternoon slips by as you hide out within your canvas. Presumably every now and then trying to check to make sure that you guys aren't getting ambushed in some fashion.
Yeah, keeping watch, all that fun stuff. Also, I won't lie. I thought it was like pitch dark when we were doing all that, so I thought it was nap time.
No, it's there is dim light at best at this point. You can see a okay distance, but it's not great. You need to have your high beams on clearly.
That makes me even more glad I didn't end up healing everybody.
I'll set up an alarm spell on the road side of our camp.
Okay, but obviously off the road, as there is still traffic. It's just...
Yes.
Okay.
Like just like on our camp, but like offset towards the road.
Okay.
So like half covering our camp, half out in the field, just in case something's coming.
Goes off every 20 minutes. Yeah. Evening rolls into night. It darkens aggressively. There's no moon or stars to work with, and you guys are dealing with you see your cart, the weight of your goods in it slowly sinking and getting settled in. The horse is not exactly a happy camper right now, but then again, when has it been happy ever since running into you guys?
Exactly.
And you will note that the girls have not come out of their tent since going in.
They've been silent?
Did I hear anything while Cap and Spidey were out kissing orphans and stuff?
No.
They've been very quiet.
Makes me worried.
I will quietly peek in.
It is dark.
Light.
I thought I had dark vision.
Just confirm for me whether or not you do.
Yes.
Okay. So as you blink and adjust a little bit, you see Lilith sitting cross-legged all the way to the back of the tent, the axe to her side, with Sarah laying like left to like on her left side on her lap, and is just like there's a strike of lightning behind you, illuminating the tent briefly, and she's just staring at the entrance, just waiting.
And does she seem like she acknowledges that I am there?
You saw the axe raise and then lower, presumably as a result of her recognizing you.
Are you okay? You just noticed I'd been very, very quiet, the two of you.
She fell asleep, and then the monster said that there was potential threats, and had not raised or lowered said alarm.
Sorry. Yeah, we went to help a couple soldiers that had a wounded member, and they've left. So, we're good. Sorry.
A huge amount of tension rolls out from her. She's effectively, you realize, has probably been sitting here like this the whole time, like all afternoon. And Sarah just blissfully asleep in her lap.
Like 20 feet away, Arash just... I feel like I've forgotten to do something. I'm sure it wasn't important.
Oh, get some rest. We'll have a watch for the night. And then exit tent. Brush, you idiot!
What did I do? Why are you yelling at me? This is not fair.
You told them there was a threat hours ago. And that is the last thing you have said to them.
most of the time you do not want me to talk to them.
Well, to you.
So the one thing you did say to them was to scare them.
It was not to scare them. I thought those soldiers were coming our way. I wanted them prepared in case you had brought 10 armed men into our camp.
We're clear across the field. We've not brought anybody into our camp.
It looked that way for but a moment.
So you took that moment to tell them to be on guard, and then forgot about them.
She's getting good with the decks.
I do not know what to do with you. Anyways, they're fine. They will hopefully both be getting some sleep soon. At least one is.
It's like by the time the conversation ends, Sarah comes out. She is bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, well-rested. The brief moment of the flap being open, Lilith is passed the fuck out.
Oh yeah, once you relax after all that. Well, sorry we don't have too much for you to do. It's getting late at night. We're headed to sleep.
Well, that's okay. I'll just listen to the rain.
It's a good sound. If it's not soaking you wet.
It is a little cold.
Can't really get a fire going in this, so I'd say stay out of the rain as much as you can then. You need, I've got a blanket I could probably spare.
There's a brief pout, and then she's like, okay.
I'll pull it out of my tent and give it to her. After we do watches and get some rest. Hopefully get moving before and hopefully it's not super soggy in the morning.
Okay. As we roll from night into the next morning, you see she goes into the tent and promptly gives and puts the blanket on Lilith.
Nice.
But for the most part, your alarm is never triggered throughout the course of the night. Come the morning, the rain has not lessened in any way. Abrush being a local, you're pretty sure that rain like this could probably go one day, maybe a day and a half more before it'll finally let up.
Yeah. You're in for either a lazy day in camp or a wet day on the march. But I don't think it's going to ease up anytime soon.
I'd at least rather be moving than sitting around doing nothing.
This rain? We could catch pneumonia.
Pull your hood up.
Lilith comes crawling out from her tent, rubbing her eyes, just glares at Aberosh before going to get some breakfast.
Good morning to you too. What single mistake?
I can only imagine the stare.
She's stopped giving him any attention.
Oh.
Better than when she showed up behind me with that damn X.
Sneaky little creature, isn't she?
Quiet voice in my head. Quiet.
One of those days, the axe is going to end up right in Aberash's skull.
So what would you like to do?
Get on the road, start going.
Any particular preparations to do so?
Break down camp and all that fun stuff.
Okay.
We'll try to shake out as much rain as we can.
Yeah.
Cover up anything that's getting put back in the wagon. Try to make sure that stuff's protected from the rain as we move. Everybody's got some sort of canvas or cloak.
Okay. Um, getting yourselves packed up and loaded, cart on the road. It's a bit of a struggle as the weight has settled. But with the three of you pushing, Adaman, of course, offering little to no aid. In the midst of a heavy conversation with himself,
Yeah.
you are soon back on the road. As you are about to leave Aldrich's, I believe if I recall correctly, is the highest passive. There is evidence of something had circled your camp heavily. Something large enough to have left deep prints, even in the rain.
Looking at the prints,
They're ruinous.
do they look like they would cause some of the wounds I saw?
Not particularly. Again, most of the sharp details have already been lost. It's just they stand out due to sort of a walking pattern of splotches. Something on four legs for sure, or some things on four legs.
Everybody knows that a beast of some sort may be following us, and it could be the beast that got our soldier friends. Sorry.
It doesn't bode that well for us. Say keep an extra eye out this morning as we get to be moving. It seems that that's when they encountered it.
Well, we'll just have to keep an eye out. How beat up were these soldier friends of yours?
One was on death's door.
And the others?
But that might have been also because of the infection.
You think this thing has some kind of poisonous bite?
Not as far as I'm aware, just more wound was not treated properly.
And the others?
Claw, again, just. I will describe the wounds.
Okay.
Well, let us
I'll
keep
talk to
an
the
eye out.
girls.
Lilith is paying rapt attention as guard mode kicks in.
Yeah, like as he starts describing wounds, like I'm trying to talk to him like this, right? Like,
covering Sarah's ears.
Not going in super deep detail, but
Oh yeah, it was riddled with pus and pretty sure I saw her small intestines. So, who is keeping watch actively? I.e., who is the Overwatch for the ride?
could I be doing that while I drive the cart?
It would not be impossible.
Arash could also be keeping watch. Now that a beastie has been identified as potentially being on the prowl.
Everyone, go ahead and roll your individual checks because passively the rain is overwhelming. Actively,
Yeah.
the rain is overwhelming. It's raining so hard that it almost constitutes as running water.
Arash just hears, I am Union in the rain. What is this? Oh,
Mid morning, the light starts to push a little bit through, sort of giving that hey, yeah, it's daytime, but it's still not great visibility uh, from the heavens. There's less traffic than you had dealt with the previous day, and the horse is having a very much a harder going of it as the road is it's maintained, but the cart is cutting hard into the wet earth, and you do count a handful of camps, not too dissimilar from your own. The one that stands out to the most part is one flying the Birok, the uh, army banner, the war banner. War banner is not the just the unit banner. Well formed canvas tents, a handful of guards who, best you can tell, are sort of tracking your motion. But aside from that, Ari, you see to your east, and always sort of just on the cusp of where your vision sort of shifts in and out as the light teases your eyes, a creature of roughly the size of your horse.
I would semi subtly let the adults know that we have a tracking companion, something horse size, keeping pace to the east.
Not
Would we have a sense of how far we are from the river?
You can make a survival check to try and gauge how well you've traveled and how much distance you managed to cover.
Sure. Huh.
You're trying, Avarice.
You're pretty sure that you're like
Abrash
here.
is just like Abrash is like sitting on the back of the cart, looking like backwards toward Olsenberg. I think we are going in the wrong direction.
It's fucking kids all over again. As you're passing the camp, a rider does break out of the camp and seem to be in motion to try and sync up with you on the road.
Slow down a little bit, let him pull up.
Doesn't take much to slow down. The horse is struggling
Okay.
against all the.
Yeah, I had a feeling the horse is perfectly fine with it.
like guys, come on. Do you not pay all taxes? Pave these roads.
Oh, Rush, you might have to walk today.
I would say, doesn't Avarosh always walk?
He just commented on sitting on the back of the cart.
Right.
So that's what I'm replying to.
An individual wearing imperial armor and or markings, much in familiarity to you, Avarosh. Hello there, hello there. I don't want to startle anyone. Is yelling as best he can over the sound of the rain. He's feeling he needs to yell, even though he's like this point like 10 feet from you.
Yeah, it's one of those storms.
Yeah. So.
Yes.
Yes. He's like trying to look up and down the cart, covering it, trying to cover his eyes from the rain.
Did you need something?
Whereabouts you lot from?
The south?
From
Headed to the north? Is it common for soldiers like along the roads to question the travelers?
I mean, you haven't been stopped yet.
That's what, like, I mean, we haven't been along a lot of roads either. At least like in game. That's why I'm curious. Like, Is there something that might be triggering this, or is this unusual or expected?
His particular mannerisms, he's looking for something.
Okay.
Like he's asking questions, but he's kind of looking in the back of the cart. Is from the south, huh? Not the east.
No. Nope. Just heading on up towards Landhouse. Not the best weather for it, but no good stopping point out here.
Okay. You didn't happen to run into any Austrians, did ya?
Not that I know for sure. We've met other travelers. Though I might want to warn you, there might be a beast off to the east. Seems to be keeping pace with us. May have circled our camp. So, if you got some spare soldiers, you might want to head them off a little bit that way. We'd appreciate it. Doesn't keep following us all day.
So let's start with the deception.
I don't know that they're for sure Austrian. We're guessing based off of what their insignia that maybe they were, but then something about the mire. It's not an outright lie.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But
Look at this.
How quickly I fell.
Okay. You beast, you say?
Yeah, something off there in the rain as far as I can see. Or as best I can see.
yeah, had tracks around our camp last night.
You say it's tracking you all?
Seems to be keeping pace with us.
Go ahead if you now seems to have like locked attention and sort of gave a good look at Abarash. With a degree of recognition, more for the physicality of a fellow Barakian. If you need to pull aside for a degree of safety, we aren't going to issue any soldiers off to chase down some stalking creature, but strength in numbers.
Seems to be biding its time before it chooses to come in. Us stopping will only delay it.
I will note that you get a sense he didn't buy your hey no we haven't met any Austrians.
Okay. But he is like offering that we can come. He's not like trying to say you need to come stop by our camp. Okay. Yeah.
Like the offer is genuine.
Okay.
Can I just do a quick insight check to see, like, kind of more, like, does he think we're in league with them or whatever?
Go ahead. You're fairly confident that he is suspect of Ari. So as a result, maybe not in league. There's nothing really jumping out as, oh yes, these are spies. But he knows you lied. You just lied to him. And there's as much caution, particularly when he's saying, like, "I'm not going to go send soldiers out at the word of someone who just lied to him."
Which makes sense.
But if you're en route to Landhaus, we break camp when the rain breaks, and that's the way we plan to be marching.
Well, I think friend thinks it won't break for another day, though. I'd rather not just sit in the rain. Have you seen any end in sight?
It should be about another day cycle or so, yeah. But I look, if you don't want to, I'm not going to twist your arm. But to be clear, we are in the search for a contingent from the Empire. They are lost, and we are merely concerned.
That was that a lot.
You go ahead and try. Your gut instinct is truth. Your active instinct is truth.
He said they're searching for children of the Empire?
The members from the Ostian Empire.
Okay, gotcha.
Didn't
That
they
they're
say
worried.
they were over here as an exchange too?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Which at no point in time did you guys incite them.
That's true.
That encounter, could I?
I mean, thinking back on it, does it seem like we can still kind of think about what their mannerisms were, how they interacted now? Thinking
Now
back, did
there's
things seem truthful?
I would say no, as there's now a set of bias to how you reflect on their mannerisms, either in favor or against.
With my passive 16, would I have gotten any hinky feelings?
Aside from foreign soldiers,
Yeah.
that were heavily concerned about one of the wounded, not much.
Okay.
And I mean, they did actively share a map with you,
Yeah.
of which didn't have too many things aside from population markers, as far as you could tell.
Hmm.
But like I said, please, if you have any information, we are merely concerned for our neighbors. The lands. I mean, as you say, a beast is roaming after all. I would heavens forbid it be misunderstood as a foreign attack. Yeah.
Yeah. If we run into them, we will let them know that you are searching for them and send them your way.
Okay. Uh, we'll be at the arms house in Landhaus.
Thank you for the information and your time.
Yeah, so I would turn to the rest of the party as well. Like, if you guys are wanting to, like, hunker down. I mean, guys, we do have, aside from just the rain, sitting in the rain all day, or intense, there is the potential threat of this creature, which did attack other able-bodied humans that may come after us. Because we can't.
I think we just gotta keep going.
Yeah, because the thought is like, if we can't reach Landhouse today, then it might strike at night or in the morning.
We'll be okay to keep going.
Yeah, you sure about that? I mean, traveling with the soldiers possesses its own set of risks, but it seems like we invite an attack by this creature if we travel alone.
I am sure we would be fine.
What about the children?
They stay in the cart.
So now it's okay when they stand in the cart.
Well, if phrases
It wasn't
are
okay
axe.
for them to stay in the cart.
Well, if the consensus is we are traveling alone, I disagree, but I will acquiesce.
do?
Did you just roll off that in your sleep?
Admin looks at you confused.
Sorry, talking to Pips.
I know.
I think he just.
So the decision is to move
over.
on?
Seems like that's what Aldrich wants.
So it's between Audi and Abrash. Admin is a neutral party in this case. I said that the wrong way. Adaman is a neutral party, so words. A's.
Well, Ari,
Did we lose Ari?
we may have lost Ari.
Spaz? Hi? Did he? Yep, so you see.
There it goes.
Yep. Nope. What did you do? Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Is it fully plugged in? Need to have like a technical difficulties little pop up for the stream. All right, he left. Doo 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 doo. Darn it, John. Oh, they're sending Pips to kill Spaz's microphone.
He flopped off his little stand. That was his mission.
Any better?
Hey, it's a Spaz. Like, what did you do?
Yeah, so I was trying to say, yeah, I mean, like, being with the soldiers sounds nice. I just really don't like to just hang out in the rain.
The rain, that's like. Going?
Very well.
Okay. Yeah, he gives you a salute and rolls back to the camp. And you continue on as night begins to take hold.
Before I head off, I'll do alarm again.
Okay.
Make
In
sure we've got a watch.
what fashion would you like to do alarm?
What do you mean?
So
Oh, because it can be like audible or mental. I'll do audible.
it also has to cover, X amount of space.
Oh, that copy pasted really bad. 20-foot cube.
So we'll go do a quick whiteboard here. My understanding was something like Avarish tent, the girls' tent, someone else, the other two guys, cart, road. obviously a little more distance in this area here than like right off the road. That was my understanding of how you had done it previously, with the alarm going like so. Probably should not use the same color.
So more or less, like, try to wrap it around. Is there a way we could fit everything in, like all of our tents, into a 20-foot cube?
I mean, each tent is like a 5 by 10 minimum. So technically,
Be a smart idea.
Yeah, I can't move that box. But yeah,
I mean, considering you could fit 9 people in a 20-foot hut, and it's about that in a 10-foot hut, and it's about that size.
yeah, just all the extra stuff of the tent
Yeah.
taking space. Probably, semi-centered on the girls' tent. Try to cover what we can. Or I guess, if Aldrix remembers kind of the path it was taking around the last camp in terms of where it was coming closest, what's the best spot to guard, or I mean, because we could just put it like out a ways, trying to put it in the path that it was circling. If it was just circling the camp, that's probably the better way to do it, because then it would trigger the alarm before it comes into camp.
that's kind of what you were dealing with.
Oh, well, if it's just going to eat Averash, then, I mean,
Wow.
I would be sad to see him go.
I will point out, sir, I saved your life. But yeah, let's try to get the most amount of us into the alarm spell as possible.
And I will always remind you that it is something that you can have multiple castings up of.
That's what I was just thinking about. Can we just like blanket the area? Because like it's a ritual.
Yeah, would make sense.
You basically just have to decide which of them is going to rot first.
I mean, for the fact that it lasts 8 hours, I mean, we could just go clockwise around the camp, or just do kind of like spokes jumping around the different spots to eventually make a circle.
Okay.
That way, in theory, we've got a circle and it's holding for 7 to 8 hours. It'll take a while. It takes, an hour to cast it 6 times.
Just spends all rest casting this.
Just an hour and a half.
Okay. Let's move you all back over to the not bright white page. Get my eyes. Not accidentally move you onto the page you're not supposed to see. Alright. Setting up any watches.
Say we keep watch tonight, yes.
Yeah, I think that's still prudent.
Okay.
Take first watch.
Alright. And the conditions of your alarm is as stated what?
I mean, it just says,
What trigger condition do you set?
I didn't think you could. It just says that An alarm alerts you whenever a tiny or larger creature touches or enters the warded area. We can exclude certain creatures. So, excluding us, except for Abrash, because I'm curious if he goes leaving off in the middle of the night.
Okay.
Wouldn't think anybody else would be leaving.
All right. I'll just go ahead. Yeah, see, is that the 13% schniption there for your watch?
Looks like.
Speak up, please. Chirp, chirp.
Yes,
Yes.
13 is my.
Okay. Who do you wake up for second watch?
I will wake up the creature of the night, Oprush.
As Aldrich wakes him up, Abrash just gonna do the thing with like his arms crossed and just sits straight up, like totally Dracula rising out of the coffin.
Yep, you got it, buddy. Up.
That is it.
Your turn for a watch.
I want to go back to bed.
Do you want to not get eaten?
That is perhaps second on the list.
I'll give him guidance as I go to bed.
Okay.
Sleep tight.
The guidance will not be of
Vampires
much
bite.
effect for a full watch's worth of perception, sir. But I applaud the thought.
I'm trying to be helpful. Because the dice are not helping me tonight.
Was that +4?
It would not apply to this particular perception, as this is covering a much larger scale of time than the 1 minute guidance is active.
Look, it could be that 1 minute that matters, sir.
I mean, it
Well,
probably
they're supposed to
depends.
wake him up every minute so he can bless me. All right.
So, no, Abrash might spend 1 minute on a watch.
The only thing that catches your attention, Abrash, is from outside of the camp. You can hear Lilith, sort of admonishing Sada. And as you go to investigate, there is a heavy object thrown at you, as she yells at you to not peek. They appear to be utilizing the rainwater to freshen themselves up a bit.
Leave him up. Okay, fine. To make sure you should be asleep. Why are you awake?
Why are you awake?
I am on watch because I am responsible adult.
Says who?
Aldrich, apparently. You want to take my watch?
I'm pretty sure I covered your watch yesterday.
Bah, we were in somewhere else.
Blur, she's ready to throw something else at you as they are in the midst of like washing themselves down. They're in their underclothes.
Fine.
Like this guy here, really?
Let's just said something. There was no need to throw things. Arash just will call back as he walks back to his tent.
Well, no, Artie, he was just on the verge of triggering your alarm.
I'll say, it sounds like the girls might be too.
Well, no, because remember you said you excluded the party except Albarash.
Oh, that's true, yep. I wasn't thinking about... thinking about it now, I'm like, suddenly worried that she'll go off sleepwalking or something in one of her dreams, but...
But aside from that, Albarash, the remainder of your watch goes without incident until you are in the midst of waking up. Insert next person here. Your choice. Adaman or Ari.
Ari.
Okay. You are woken first by the shake of Abrosh, calm, cool, and collected, and a loud scream from Sada.
Draw a dagger and move.
Because I will note that you told the adults y'all were getting stalked. You didn't mention the danger to the girls. So they thought it was okay to go and hurry up and use the rain as bathwater.
Yeah.
And that is where we fade to black.
Oh.
I don't suppose I was also woken up by the scream.
You can roll perception at disadvantage as you're unconscious.
The alarm is in theory going off as well.
The alarm has not gone off.
Oh, because they're farther out than that. Okay.
The intent was to go where no old man was going to peek at them.
I got a 12.
Nah, you're sawing
Okay.
logs. And that's what we'll pick up whenever the hell we manage to get everyone together again.